Eamon Khan here for Seconds Out with trainer Shane McGuigan guiding Caroline Dubois to another victory in what was billed as a test. She came through with flying colours.
Yeah, great. I mean, she gave herself a 6 out of 10, which I thought was extremely harsh. I mean, that girl's number 3 in the world. She dropped her, won every round, was like a bloody sauna in there. It was extremely hot. So dealing with a lot of different variables, and I thought she did fantastic. She got hit a few times as well, which is a good thing. Like learning to sort of like switch it up a little bit. She was getting caught on the right hand in the first sort of 2 rounds, and then she adjusted, and that's what good fighters do. They adjust and adapt. So to be honest, I was everything that I wanted from that fight, because we got the 8 rounds in. The one thing we probably could have is maybe get that stoppage in the 7th or 8th, but she got knockdowns and showed it all, and looked a little bit ragged at times. But yeah, the 2 of them. I mean, that Yanina is from Argentina, which she's used to the heat, and she was exhausted in there as well. So it just shows you, people watching it on the cameras, it's hard to put into words how hot it was.
Push for time, so I'll keep it short and sweet. You must have seen that Richie Akpor is now mandated to fight Jai Opetaia. You'll be keeping your eye on that cruiserweight division with Crispin and Smith is your charge. Who do you feel comes through that fight and potentially into a unification with Chris?
Yeah, I think it's a very hard fight. It's a tricky fight. It's not going to be a brutal fight. It's going to be a calculated chess match, and I think if he takes it, I think it's a good fight. I think it's a very credible win if he does. It's just like Crispin and Smith winning against Lawrence Okola. You're beating a world champion, not a guy that's for a vacant belt. It's fair dues. So I hope he takes it. I hope he wins, and I hope it sets up a big fight in the future with Chris.
Just to pick up something that he said, if he takes it, you think maybe he might not?
Well, potentially. I mean, like if it was me and I was Akpor, I'd almost look to the Gulamarian fight rather than the Opetaia fight, because Gulamari, you know what you're getting. He's like, you won't have to go looking for him. He'll walk straight onto your shots, and he's a big puncher, and I think he can settle him on the jab, whereas I think he's going to have to try and figure Opetaia out, the speed of him, that awkward southpaw movement, and I think it's just a harder fight.
For someone who's been in boxing a lot more, longer than I am, very confused to stand right now when a world heavyweight champion at heavyweight says they're struggling to find an opponent in Tysoon Fury. Why do you feel that is?
I'm not, no disrespect to him, but I switch off with a lot of the stuff that goes on. Because it's 1 minute it's saying something, and the other minute it's not. I mean, I feel like he's got so many options to fight people. It's just whether he can come to terms and be reasonable. I think I don't know why that Usyk fight didn't get made, and I think if not, there's so many other options out there for him. Even like he's the star, right? So it doesn't matter who he boxes, as long as they're within the top 10, top 15. Like, he should just get another fight out there, yeah.
Last thing I want to ask you on, anti-Joshua for Dillian Whyte 3, essentially, if you count the amateur fight as part of a trilogy, but it's 2 in the professional ranks. How close is the gap between the 2 fighters, given their experiences that they've had in the past? If the fight does get made between the 2, Dillian Whyte is unsure right now, but that's the feeling that's going to happen if a wilder fight happens in the end of the year.
I think it's a good fight. I just think Dillian's even though whenever he gets beaten and gets stopped, he always comes back like nothing's ever happened. It's like he's his game is anything, and that's what makes him dangerous. So AJ, he showed a little bit like he's a bit hesitating, not trusting himself, and I think it's a very good fight to get the confidence up and get a stoppage, which he believes he'll probably get. And Dillian Whyte's obviously probably thinking and looking at him saying, all right, well, he's a bit gun shy. I think I can get stoppage. So it's always an intriguing fight with those 2.
Wonderful. I think, what did Dale say to you when he crossed your path with you?
He said, I've never heard someone shout so loud as your dad in my ear. He said, I think I need a new eardrum. So yeah, it's always good character.
Good character. Cheers, Shane. Appreciate you. Thank you.